measure a roof.
I didn't know how to measure a roof. I didn't know how to inspect a roof. I didn't know what a pipe jack was. I didn't even know what 3, inches looked like. A 3-inch pipe boot,
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
So that's how we got started.
And how many roofs did you do with this knowledge?
We got really big. We faked it the whole way. We never bought insurance.
Or got an LLC
No LLC, nothing.
Okay.
This
Just make the checks payable to Davy Cox.
No, to Georgia Roofing.
Oh, okay.
And then we had a gas station in Canton. It was like a Swahibian. This is like 2005. Where you still go take checks to like Swahibians. And so we would get them cash through him.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Blue Collar Boardroom. I've got an incredibly exciting episode. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk about how to come back from rock bottom. Everybody in roofing and contracting has been through tough times. I myself have seen rock bottom. I actually met my higher power in the middle of an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, and definitely have seen the inside of a jail cell my fair share of times. My whole life, I've been a little bit of the outlaw, the renegade, and I've had substance abuse or drinking or overdo it. You can just call it an addictive personality. The reality is that I've always been a guy that was never out there acting like the craziest of the crazy, but I was always on the edge. And there's a danger with living on the edge. And here today, we're going to talk about how to come back from rock bottom. Some of the hardest questions that some of you have wondered about. Like, there was times where our RCA was under investigation by the state of Florida. There was times where I felt like my best friends abandoned me. And there's times in my life that not only, multiple different times where it seems like the same story replays out over and over again. And so sometimes in life where there's two people going two separate paths, and there's two right answers. And we always try to control the future. But today I got an important person from my past, somebody who went on the internet, said a lot of negative things, and we came here to talk about the real story. But also, one of the most legendary door-to-door roofing salespeople I've ever worked with. I've worked with a lot of people, but when this guy called me, I'll never forget. He started blowing up my phone in the middle of the night, and I was like, who the fuck is this? This guy must be on drugs. So sure enough, the guy, this is actually Justin Parker. Justin, what happened that day?
Well, we were actually listening to Anthony on a phone call from Arizona. He was talking about focusing on conferences and bringing us down there for that. And so we were at the tail end of our niche, working for Anthony. So we were looking for people like Anthony, who were like trying to buzz themselves on the internet, and we found you. And you had that pitch.
The ultimate pitch. That Justin is the problem child. You're the problem child.
Well,
you know what you used to say?
They did.
What'd you used
call
to say?
Me the golden child.
Oh, but you turned into the problem child.
But the golden child is the problem child.
But what'd you say that you were a good what?
Problem to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a good problem.
One of the best problems I have in the industry.
And you were a good problem to have for me too, even though at times
you'd still take me back, right?
Well, that's not me. That's the one that won't take you back.
You're right.
So I might take you back, but my wife, on other hands.
Hey, happy wife, happy life.
So, Justin, tell us about how you grew up, where you're from, and let's hear about the man behind the door-to-door legend.
So I grew up, I was born in North Carolina, but I was raised in Cherokee County, Georgia from age 5 to graduation. I did really good in school. I was a good athlete. And I fucked all that up when I turned 19. It was like my post-senior year spring break to Panama City.
Oh, yeah? What happened?
Oh, I was going to become a DJ or a raver. So that happened, and it flopped out in the worst way possible. And then I was working at my dad's company as an engineer. Well, what is it called? Neo, where you're your dad's son and you get all the
apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
I think it's called
nepotism.
It's nepotism at its finest. I was making good money. I was like making 1,800. You know, it was paid by unit, so you got paid by the unit of measurement you did in plans and prints, and you had 24-hour access to the building. And my mom and my dad were like in the middle of a divorce, and my dad's with his secretary. And, you know, I was running around chasing anything that looked good, smelled good, tasted good. And I would sometimes have to go in real late at night to get caught up to get paid that Friday. And then it started happening a lot in my new stepmom, at the time my dad's estranged girlfriend.
Fired your ass.
Well, she was like, Justin's using the key late at night a lot. And I was like, oh, that is weird. You know, he'd been turning the cheek. And then she made him give me a drug test. And I failed the drug test, and I lost that job. At the time, I was living in Canton with Davey and my buddy Justin Landry.
Davey Cox, founder of Hardcore Door to Door.
Mm-hmm. And he was working at, what is the big one? The big restoration company. That's like the
Servpro?
No, bigger than that. Belfour.
Okay.
He was working for Belfour, doing pack outs. So I started doing pack outs with him. And
what's a pack out?
Well, so like when a building floods, you go in there and you get everything out
mitigation.
of there. Yeah. So,
emergency work.
And I would like sleep in the back. Like we'd go on these like 3 o'clock in the morning runs and stuff. And then a microburst happened, and we didn't even know what a microburst was. So we just noticed a bunch of yard signs were everywhere for fucking roofing.
Don't confuse a microburst with a microdose. What's a microburst?
A microburst is a little better than a microdose.
Okay, tell us.
In the storming industry.
Okay, what is it?
So it's basically when a pocket of air gets released from the sky after, you know, 2 different conflicting air units, you know, temperatures and all that, you know, hit each other. And what happens is basically a landicane, but it's like a straight shot to the ground. And as soon as the air hits the ground and ricochets,
starts messing roofs up.
That's when it gets dangerous.
And hail and wind and...
Oh, dude, it was amazing.
Yeah, okay.
So we saw yard signs everywhere.
What, you were not a door-to-door roofer yet?
No, dude, I was like on my ass.
You had no training.
I lost my job at my dad's company. I had it made.
Like trying to make up late at night.
Using the door key 24 hours, like taking girls.
You didn't even
in there,
steal
flexing.
anything.
No.
Dude, that was fucking...
No.
No.
I did make some IDs.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. But they were for kids wanting to drink.
Okay.
College kids.
All right.
Yeah.
Here, let me see that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So, talk to me about when you and Davey first got in the business and selling your first job.
We're noticing all these yard signs are everywhere, dude. I mean, it's like different one. Like, dude, and we lived on the street, so we're like, let's just make a yard sign and throw it up in our yard. Just fucking fuck with them. See what's going on here. And we had already
Fuck with them, just make a yard sign? Like,
yeah, we made a yard sign.
Not a contract.
It was Georgia Roofing and Construction Services. That was the name of it.
Forget about getting an LLC.
No, I mean, you didn't even have to have a permit or a license to do roofing here. All you had to do is like either graduate or not graduate.
That's it. Or even that didn't even matter.
No, that didn't even matter. Honestly, you're right. There's a third one there. So neither of them matter. So they would just let anyone do roofing. So we didn't know that part either. Okay, we just wanted to see if we can get some calls. Like, dude, obviously some roofing's going on. They said there was a storm. We didn't remember it. You know what I'm saying? Because we're on the outskirts. So we get a call, start getting leads off our yard sign. Davey immediately goes to working on stopping at every house that's getting a roof replaced and shopping crews. Like, and then he called Home Depot, Lowe's, you know, whatever we had, Walmart. He called everywhere. Ace Hardware. Then we found out there's supply houses. We didn't even know what that was either. But we found ABC eventually. And me and Davey decided to logo up his dead father's truck that he left to him. The only thing he left to Davey was this red Chevy. And we got this thing wrapped in this color right here with like orange and yellow letters and numbers. And we went out our first Saturday and got 10 appointments to where we're going to gather an estimate. We had no idea at this point what storm damage is or even insurance. We've never even owned a home. We're like 24 years old.
No free inspection.
No free inspection, no nothing.
No contingency agreement.
No contingency agreement. Can we give you an estimate?
And so you went in the Buddy Hustle estimate.
Because
approach.
people were calling our yard sign wanting estimates. And like we would like call them back or try
the
to
good
go-
old days when
go
people
there.
responded to free estimate.
They would go, you would go there and the homeowner would be like, they would say something about a deductible. We didn't acknowledge that. They would say something about their insurance. We wouldn't acknowledge that. We're like, can we just give you some numbers? Like,
Did that work?
and yes, it did. It did. And so that was my pitch.
But you didn't know how to measure a roof.
I didn't know how to measure a roof. I didn't know how to inspect a roof. I didn't know what a pipe jack was. I didn't even know what 3, inches looked like. A 3-inch pipe boot, like
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
So that's how we got started.
And how many roofs did you do with this knowledge?
We got really big. We faked it the whole way. We never bought insurance.
or got an LLC or in
No LLC, nothing.
Okay.
This is
Just
like,
make the checks payable to Davy Cox.
no, to Georgia Roofing.
Oh, okay.
And then we had a gas station in Canton.
Mhm.
It was like a Swahibian.
Mm-hmm.
This is like 2005. Where you still go take checks to like Swahibians.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would get them cash through him.
Okay, good.
Liquor store.
Nice.
Yeah. Made out how much, whatever.
Yeah.
So
When did that train roll to the stop?
that thing was on it was like
What was the peak of that momentum, and then
it was like a gravy train on biscuit wheels.
And then how did it blow up?
It blew up when we put the billboard up.
Oh fuck!
And then a hailstorm
Now
hit.
were y'all getting drunk and doing graffiti then?
Yes.
Oh, and
everything else. Anything that tasted good, looked good.
by that you mean everything. What?
Well,
some things are off the
table.
table.
None of the things that like people are like, but did you die?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never did any of that.
No.
No.
Okay. Good.
But everything else.
All right.
Yeah. Did you die though?
The typical roofer stack.
Yeah. Your typical, starter kit.
Okay. So let's go more into the story.
So we get the billboard, then we start booming. Then
The train wreck.
South Georgia started booming. So then we had a house, and we had enough money and enough jobs. We were just booming, dude. And we weren't being very responsible with any of the money. We had no idea. We were just winging it, literally.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a house down in, God, what is it? Morrow, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Stockbridge, actually, where my wife grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I met Andrew. Andrew is down there.
Mm-hmm.
And he had just didn't do so hot at Auburn. Andrew Wilkerson.
Yeah.
And he was wanting to know where some weed was. And,
Yeah.
you got a lighter, you guys got to see,
Yeah.
stuff. Just conversation starters.
Yeah.
We took him in, and we made a closer out of him, and he never left the roofing industry again. But he stayed at the Stockbridge house alongside 2 other sales reps. So I had a storm dorm. I didn't even know it was a storm dorm.
Oh my God.
And then we had a house. It was a double wide trailer on Lake Allatoona where they filmed.
So how many did just hodgepodge of Renaissance redneck badasses sell?
80 residential roofs,
Nice.
probably completed.
Okay.
And we also did a lot of mitigation and tarping downtown Atlanta when that tornado went through
Is that
there.
where Tarps Mahoney?
That's where Tarps Mahoney came, even though I had no idea what I was doing, and they knew that about 2 days after I left.
Can you talk to him about going into character?
Yes, so...
Who's Tarps Mahoney?
So look,
There's a mode. There's a mode.
The tornado comes through Atlanta, and Davey and I are driving down there, okay? We got our freaking rain gear on. We're fucking on a good one. Smoking cigarettes, talking shit, listening to Gucci. And then, we get there, and the first place we stopped was, a couple of churches. We hooked our freaking chain up, our winch up to the steeple and brought it back up, got on the news, and then when we left there, we went to the co-ed dorm at Georgia State, right there in downtown across from Varsity, downtown Atlanta. And there was a bunch of people on the roof, and all the kids were outside. The college kids were outside, like, because they couldn't be in the building until they figured out what was going on the roof. And so I saw a bunch of trucks parked out there, and they said Parker Young Construction. So I walked in. I'm like, I need access to the roof.
Oh, already.
They're like, you got an ID or who sent you, you know, this, that. I'm like, I'm with Parker. They're like, do you have an ID? And I was like, yeah, here's my ID. You'll see my dad's up there on that roof. I need to be up there. And she looked at my ID and said, Justin Parker. So I went up on the roof. They're all up there talking. And they're like, we're going to need a tarp, but do you know where you get any crews for a tarp right now? You know, or, you know, get this thing tarped. And I was like, we can tarp it. He was like, who are you? And I'm literally walking onto a flat roof, Georgia State, downtown. There's like probably 9 guys out there.
Never done a flat roof in your life.
Never done a flat roof in my life. Never done anything like this in my life.
What makes you get to this like confidence level?
It was literally I was having fun. Me and Davey were really having fun. This is like when we were really having fun doing this.
Yeah.
And we would like pull up on homeowners.
So did you
like
get the tarp job?
And yes, I landed it.
Nuh-uh.
Yes, he gave it to me.
Did you fuck it up?
He paid us $6,000 that day to do it, and left before we even got started. And of course, we weren't even ready. You know what I'm saying? We were definitely not ready for that.
That definitely had a good.
We definitely came back the next day, and then we actually put together some sort of a tarp job on this thing. And we had 2 Mexicans with us, and it blew away like the same day. It blew away the same day. But
so how did that?
We got paid $6,000 on that.
That's good.
And then what the downfall was is we had never really built 2 a day before, and we were on this one street where Andrew and I had literally
no CRM or CRM.
No CRM. What the fuck is? We didn't even know what that meant.
No. What about contracts?
No, just verbals.
Verbals.
Yeah, straight verbals.
Straight verbals.
And it wasn't until after we bought the billboard, after we fucked up the Parker Young job downtown, that we were like celebrating, partying. Had a little bar, and fucking these 4 trucks pull up, and they're all like wrapped in lightning rods and yellow and black, and it was Aspen. And they get out of the truck, and like, you know, we're seeing roofing, like we ain't got roofing trucks, dude. You know what I mean? Like we had like one that his dad,
like the Bad News Bears,
and like my truck looked like something out of fucking. Damn, I forgot that movie where they were like End of Days, and they got all these spikes on their cars and shit. Anyway, we were doing good. We had trucks on rims and all that, but we weren't like logoed out like this. We weren't tight. We didn't have a process.
When did the money run out?
Real quick. So they came up, and me and Davey are literally jocking these guys. You know,
making fun of them.
No, dude, we're like, holy shit,
how do we do that,
dude? Imagine if you pulled up to a homeowner's house just like that. I was like. Right.
What was it? The lights?
Dude, it was
the
wraps. It was the lightning rods. It was how they were professional. They had phone. You remember the phone clips that would go like this? My wife won't let me wear one. I wish I could. I have one at home. I would wear it every day. But they were like, you know, there's slow motion, like, let the theme song go. We were like, damn. So we finally got, you know, next to him, and we were like, yo, what's it? Dude, one guy, because we had weed, he was like, let's go out to the truck. You know, we're sitting there talking to him in the truck, and I'm looking down and seeing all, like, damn, dude, this is y'all's folder? This is y'all's, dude, I'm looking at all the goods. I'm like, damn. I was like, dude, y'all have got to be a big operation. You know, we're looking podunk, but we didn't even realize we were doing actually really good. We just weren't legit. We were just young and dumb. But the dude told us, like, we were like, how many jobs you got? He's like, man, I got about 70. I was like, damn, that's how much we got together. And he was like, well, you know, what are y'all, you know, are y'all working directly with the insurance, or are y'all turning those down? We're like, what? Working with the insurance? Why would we do that? Why would we work with the insurance?
Why?
We give estimates. They either like them or they don't.
Come on.
I'm going door to door giving estimates.
Fucking
roofing.
Really,
Davey would give the estimate. I would hook it. He would book it.
Hook it, book it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the...
Give me your pitch back then.
Hi, man. My name is Justin Parker with Georgia Roofing and Construction.
Hello.
Hi. So we're actually working with several of your neighbors. I don't know if you saw our yard sign, but we would just like to give you an estimate from our company, before you make a decision.
I'm not interested.
Okay, well, we will be working in the neighborhood, and I hope you have a good day, man.
Bye.
It was weak. Yeah. Took the first no.
Okay.
All the time. But what I learned there was hit more doors.
Oh, volume is important.
Yeah.
So you can make money even if you suck.
Whether you hit or you don't hit, keep hitting.
Keep hitting, baby.
Yeah.
Go early and go often.
Yeah. It's like the worst casino strategy you could come up with.
It doesn't matter. If
You
you're
only
playing with
win at
house
the
money.
ATM.
You're playing with house money. It's your energy. You just put your time out there.
Yes.
Okay, so did he teach you how to sell a contingency? Did he show you?
Who, Davey?
No, the guy with the Aspen truck. Did he?
Oh, yeah. They showed us their contingency, and it was all made up in the folder. And I was like, dude, can I have one of these? And he was like, yeah. Fucking, you can have one, bro. He was like, you guys don't know about hail damage? And me and Dave were like, hail damage? We're not homeowners. We're renting. We didn't even know that. The homeowner that we're renting from doesn't even know the hail affected the roof, Mm-hmm. So he's like, yeah, dude, the insurance companies are buying all the roofs. You guys have like what's labeled a catastrophic event. And Davey and I like looked at each other. He was in the front seat, like, and Buddy was like, yeah, we were like, you mean like the homeowners still gotta pay for it though, right? Like they're just helping. And they're like, no, they pay for the whole roof. All the homeowner does is pay $500. Like me and Davey have been charging like $8-10 grand a roof, sometimes $5.
500 versus 10 grand.
No, 5,000. So
Yeah.
we were actually doing a lot of roofs. We ended up with like 2 billboards before we started building 2 a day and met these guys.
2 billboards, no contracts.
No contracts. Still, even though I had the folder,
Even though you look good.
didn't even look good.
Okay.
Looked janky rolling up.
Janky.
Yeah.
2 trucks in a truck.
Yes. So he told us about that, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, the insurance company's paying for the whole thing."
Here, talking to this.
They issued 2
Grab
checks.
it. You can move it around.
They issued 2 checks, and the first ones have to get it rolling. The other one comes on the back end. And he's like, and really, the homeowners ain't even got to pay their deductibles. I mean, everyone's eating the deductibles out here. The deductibles. So, Davey and I were like, what the fuck? It took us about 2 days of like silence, not talking to each other. We
When
lived
you
together.
first discovered skydiving.
And then we realized we were running the wrong route.
You're running the wrong route.
And we were already balls deep in it.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. And we were fucking some shit up. But it was still, like, manageable, fixable. Like, you can always not answer your phone and just get to that one.
Mm-hmm.
So we started, like, trying to get licensed.
That's a good roofer strategy. Explain it. Non-answer your phone and then get to that one.
Yeah. So, like, you basically do the opposite of delay, deny, defend. You just don't answer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what you get when
They can't beat you if you're
sometimes
not
a
playing.
cheaper roofer.
Right.
Yeah.
It's called a taillight warranty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we started building 2 a day when we got this busy. Me and Andrew Wilkerson and Davey were probably one of the nastiest squads I ever ran with, besides Mott and Kevin and all them, like right when we were in our freaking... Well, you're still in it, but...
Well, those are some good topics of conversation.
Yeah. So anyway, we were
Considering
rolling.
that last time I talked to Brian Mott, he rolled up on me on the side of the road and tried to fight me on the middle of the streets.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. And I love Mott to death. He's like one of my favorite door knockers in America, and we'll get into like how great he is. But yeah, that was weird. It's like hold me back, car door.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you really wanted to bust Lee in his fucking mouth,
Yeah.
why didn't you just get out and hit him one time and say fuck asking him to get out in the middle of public?
No. He's got an open invitation to come on down anytime. He doesn't want to do that.
We had this conversation.
Yeah, let's
He's not ready to do that unless it's like he throws out it's bare knuckles.
Yeah, well, I'm cool with that.
Oh, I bet you are. I bet he's not right now because you weren't trained up and tight at that very moment. You were getting there.
But it was a good motivator.
And that's kind of scary.
It was a good motivator. Look, when keeping it real goes wrong and a hater becomes a great motivator.
Right.
A lot of people around here, unfortunately, I'm not the guy that always spars light. I'm like, I'm going to go light today. Fucking Justin Parker. I'm looking at him, imagining some fucker like you's face. Lee's a fraud. Lee's plagiarizing, putting his name on checks. I just, whop. Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to knock you out.
He's a Facebook guru.
He's a Facebook fucking fraud.
He's a fucking Facebook famous fuck.
So you get mad when you're not on the A team, don't you?
Yeah, you do. I missed it immediately. I was like, damn, I gotta do something to
What happens?
I don't need leehaight, right? So I made that Pastor Troy video where I was like, I don't even know if you saw it. That's what really breaks my heart. You didn't even see my little content.
I did.
But yeah, I immediately missed that.
I saw the video of the. We'll get into some of the graphic
so
content.
I immediately regretted not being Facebook famous, but then I started to develop this
we gotta get
this mindset that I don't want to be Facebook famous.
Yeah,
I'm tired of being a guru.
Yeah,
look at these guys. I see myself in all of them. Oh, and I still miss it.
Mm-hmm.
But in a sense, that other side of me is right. There are a lot of fake gurus out there.
There's a ton of them.
And you're definitely not one of them because I've been out in the field with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I had you slandered on some shit that have nothing to do with your skill sets. I never once slandered your skill sets.
Well, either way,
although I did beat you in a contest in Boston.
Oh, you might have. We'll get to that because Boston's where we met.
The massacre.
After the blowing up, I'm always looking for a door knocker. So whenever someone hits me up and they're excited about traveling to work, I'm working Boston. It's a storm. I'm like, okay, dude, get here and we'll put you to work. He's excited about knocking doors. He's crazy. He's sending me all these videos of him jumping in yards and stabbing yard signs. So I'm like, well, high energy door to door. I don't care if he's crazy. And if he's on drugs, we'll find out quick if we can tolerate him or not. So this fucker shows up. Tell him about how you showed up.
So again, we were just there on the crux of him wanting to go strictly.
What was Sky Diamonds at the time?
Sky Diamonds was standing out in a corner and talking to a guy, and you're like, I'm gonna recruit the top salesman across the nation. I'm gonna be on Grant Cardone. We're gonna be doing
cornball,
a mini series, television reality show on the Grant Cardone network. Me and Davey were like, whoa, that's where we're going. And that's when he talked to you before I talked to you.
You wanted to be a part of the roofing reality show.
I was like, dude, I'm the greatest door knocker in America. Davey was like, definitely you're going there. Yeah. And you're going to become. He's like, because I got to clean up, the money we're owed by Anthony before he just bails on all of his, storm teams. Mm-hmm. And just strictly SVG conference mode. Mm-hmm. Smart man. He quit
the roofing business.
And it didn't help me. I don't like that.
No, but we'll skip that part of the story, and I want you to talk more about. So
I started blowing you up, and then Davey actually talked to you because he knew I overdid it.
Mm-hmm. Not very many people can handle you.
Yeah. So Davey called you, and he was like, look, I need my guy to come there. So you were like, yeah. And I showed up. You booked me a flight. Or Davey did. Someone did. Davey had to find me.
The most disturbing thing was you showed up with nothing.
Yeah, so Davey had to find me to get me onto the plane.
Like a homeless
I was somewhere in St. Louis.
You're like a homeless guy.
He got me, and I got to the airport, and I came there, and I was in flip-flops, T-shirt, and a pair of cheesy and one basketball shorts. That's it. And you were like, where's your bags? I was going to see if you can get me everything I needed
I was
at Walmart. Because I need an air mattress. Let's see. Yeah. And I knew before you knew what I was about to do.
Mm-hmm. But we made a trip to Ross, didn't we?
But you took the trip to Ross. You took the chance on me.
Yeah, well, my
and
dad.
plus, it was too late.
Yeah, it was too late. I was stuck with you. No,
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, but you did stiff arm me immediately and drop me off at the crib with this storm dorm.
I gave you immediate stuff.
Yeah, and I had the craziest ones, dude.
Oh God, what happened?
What's his name? I forgot his. What was his name?
So-
Andrew.
No, his name was
Andrew.
John.
And then,
John.
yeah,
John.
I lived with both of them.
Yeah.
And fucking.
And one of them came at you
One
with
of
a-
them drove a Magnum. What was his
Yeah.
name? Summer or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. I forgot his name.
Then he hit you with an iron.
No, your boy, the old seasoned
Yeah.
roofing dog.
The old guy.
Yeah, he attacked me with a knife.
The knife. Yeah. But you didn't. Nobody died in that movie.
No, he missed every time. I was
Okay.
too quick.
That's good.
Yeah.
So let's go into like when we first started creating content, and remember back in what did you learn when you first came to work with me?
So I immediately learned. I learned about campaigns, making contact, assuming the sale, like coming across as if you're supposed to be there, or you're the one that I'm calling because we have an appointment you don't know about. Assuming the sale. And we would sometimes on rain days spend all that time going into the hardcore door-to-door or your Rolodex and just banging the phones out and trying to get people on Sky Diamonds and making commercial calls. I mean, we were never missing a beat. And then you would, show me my team needs you, then you can challenge me to a door-to-door contest. Because you were doubting me, so I said, dude, I'll beat you in a door-to-door contest.
You didn't beat me.
I did. I beat you and, what's his name, our homie, the black dude with light skin.
Which one? Who is it?
Bald head, big ear, smart, but crazy.
Yeah, forget
Yeah.
names.
me too.
They all. Yeah.
Anyway, but he was helping you that day.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of Black's friends, Donnie Black's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Tiger Woods.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I had my little, I had my little air mattress in that nice little apartment right next to Donnie Black. So I got to meet Donnie Black. I got to run in the field with them because you told me, you were like, show me my team needs you, and then we'll talk about, pay and stay and how long and all that.
So and that's a lot of times people are like, can you get a canvasser? Can you go to a place where they're like people come into halfway houses where people like need to make cash money immediately and hire a guy to go door to door? And you can if you manage them correctly. If you give them a positive, good way to be a setter. Can't anyone be successful as a setter?
Yes, they can. It's so easy.
It is, isn't it?
It really is.
And isn't it sometimes a great living to just set the appointments and make 30% of the commissioners and just really all you do is lay up the deals?
So
Because there's some people that they have to be a closer.
there's no book to that part
Yeah.
that tells anyone new coming in or transitioning out of jail even.
We try to start everybody as a setter, but then some people, everybody's got to become a closer, but do they really? Can you be a setter forever?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the most important part.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll
That's
take a
the
good
spark.
take a good setter or a good closer
I'd take a good setter any day.
over a good closer.
Yeah, because the closer is going to get complacent.
Mm-hmm.
He'll eventually get so complacent. He'll basically get wigger rich.
Oh no.
He'll spend some time doing that.
So that's the death of a salesman, where you count the money of the future. I've done it a lot of times.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like, talk to us when you started to have the meltdown. You had some calculated commissions, and you were, don't you start?
So
like,
I was salary with you,
Mm-hmm.
basically my whole career
Mm-hmm.
with you, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it went from 500 a week in Boston to 800 a week, plus room and stay. And I got to ride directly in the seat with you every day after I beat you in a competition that day with Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 13 to 6 or 5 or something like that. It was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was contingency signings. That was what counted.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I became like a road dog with you, and like you and I were a lot alike in many ways, and in many ways we weren't. But we both had a superpower of like ADHD, and that one day I tried fighting you in the car. I was like, go the fuck out, we're fighting right now. You were like, dude, you're out of your mind. We're in Tom Brady's fucking neighborhood right now. And that's when we got over that, because you were on the phone and like I wanted to talk and say stuff, but then you got off the phone and we went to that dude who had the anxiety attack when I was pushing him, and he kept saying no, and I was like, sir, you're gonna need this. Look, there's hail right. He's like, sir, if you don't mind. And we filmed it and all that. It was on the show.
It was a great one.
It was a good one.
Somebody hit me up with content. They're like, tell me we can use this content.
Running
around full Jufro.
Dude, and honestly, at that point in time, hardcore, because of the SVG, like, you guys are unprofessional, start your own group. Well, we did. And we were always posting in there, and like, we were still having fun, Davey and I. You know? Remember that old lady he pitched? And she's like, I don't need no fucking roofer. He was like, but ma'am, she's like, fuck you. You know? And he ended up turning it into a deal. We would do live pitches like that on hardcore, and it was like, it was fun. So like riding around with you, because you were about that life, I learned about making contact and assuming the sale, and I learned a lot about marketing and Facebook. Because like when I was with, you know, my prior company, I didn't know anything about social media. And you taught me, after I was, you know, yelled at about my unprofessionalism with the yard signs and the pictures, and even when we tried to look friendly and nice, just shaking hands, we would post like 8 of them that day, like 8 different homeowners. You're not even writing sentences with these posts. So I had been scorned, and now I need taught. I was ready to listen when I met you.
Okay, good. So we made a lot of progress in Boston, and then I'm going to have to really get through some of the harder parts of the story, because really we got a lot to cover.
Hey, I'm rolling with you.
All right, so walk me through Davey, who's about to get out of jail. How long has he been in jail?
Which time?
Well, this recent time.
This recent time, he probably won't be out till like, he keeps saying it's going to be this year, but it's probably 2024.
Yeah, so 2 years. He'll be out soon.
Yeah.
But he got caught up in a graffiti scandal.
Yes. And the ATF raided his house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And y'all were just putting up graffiti everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's just fun, right?
And I will say this, Davey Cox was interviewed by a Fox news anchor that was smoking hot, and is still she transferred to Atlanta, but he ended up having sex with her in jail, and she kept visiting him and putting money on his books.
So that makes it all worth it.
Hot news anchor, dude.
Does that make it worth it?
Interviewed him, fell in love with him.
So it makes the 5 years in prison worth it.
Crazy.
Absolutely. And that was some.
But
good,
she tried to take hardcore door to door for me.
But what, like the tagging, like was there magnificent art pieces? Was there a meaning behind it?
No, it was a sport. Like, so
Like
when you're riding through a city and you see like an abandoned building with like 8 stories.
Yeah,
like
in St. Louis, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, and so in Atlanta and at Texas too. They're there.
You're everywhere.
That sometimes you just got to know what you're looking for. But so those buildings, if you just spray painted the side of the building like, ooh, you hit a stop sign. That's 1 point, bro. Like, what about way up there?
1 point.
What about way up there? You see that big one right there that stares you in the face when you're like 3 miles out?
Yeah, on the highway.
Yeah, that's a big boy point, bud.
That's a big boy point.
So we didn't even have to be artists. We were just hitting big boy points.
Okay, well, that'll get you hemmed up if you have the wrong substances with you when they get you.
I mean, it's wrong, but in our minds then we were forcing the homeowner there to clean up the property now.
Okay.
In our minds, that was what we were justifying.
Yes. And
because once it has graffiti, the city, the county, I don't care where you live.
Yeah.
Unless it's Hannibal, Missouri, where Davey's from. Yeah. Like, they're not going to have that shit.
No. So you come to me after kind of like a rebound, and is it more, at that time it was a little crazy, still around. I'm still.
Absolutely.
I'm still having a good time. I'm away from my wife, but on the road. What's it like back then working with me?
I could show you a rap video.
A rap video?
And we were riding in the car, and we would freestyle together, and to like help with because we got too good at like role playing, like, okay, now and then you'd hear me do a pitch on the phone, I'd hear you do one, and like we'd eat lunch. I never, ate out that much in my life.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Boston was good food.
It was. And Mark Wahlberg opened his first Wahlberg in Boston that year.
There you go.
But
we'll play the rap song on the YouTube. How about
but I had a lot of fun riding with you. There was almost like a brotherhood like what I had with Davey, like with you. Mm-hmm. I didn't really bond. Like Tiger definitely was like sleeping on the couch and like hanging out with us sometimes, but like he was never really a leader like what me and Davey really are. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't have that tenacity.
Yeah,
like,
when you're working with Anthony, y'all are partying. For us it was a party while we were working. It wasn't even that. It was you would randomly pull over and be like, go hit that one. Yeah. Well, and like if you even bucked, it would be like, what are you doing in my truck? Yeah. That's hardcore door-to-door culture. Yeah, get out. But the thing is if you're running a sales team, you're a sales manager, you don't have someone in the passenger seat of the truck, and then we would communicate through group chat and we would get everybody to follow us. And if you're not doing that. I love group chat. Group chat makes it fun, right? Remember the hat making door knocking fun again? I still got that shit. Dude. And you remember the GIFs? I would tee one up, right? And how do you then I would put a GIF like, okay, Mott, you're up. Kevin, you're next. And then I would put a GIF of someone eating popcorn. I'd be like, will Mott sign? And then I'd go get another one. Kevin, you're up over here. Another GIF. Mm-hmm. Will Kevin sign this one? And they literally snatched down more ones than I imagined anyone could out of the ratios. Like I remember doing it myself with Davey. This brings up a good subject because both these people have said a lot of hateful shit. Another one's tried to fight me. Now we're getting, and there's a reason for that. We're getting to the guts of it. I've been accused in this past. What they said was a stack and starve. Absolutely, and that's what is stack and starve. So anyone who's new to the industry, and I even knew I was wrong when I was saying it about all the roofing companies. Like stack and starve is a natural process where the sales rep forgets you're getting your place paid for, draw $500 a week, and you haven't even signed anything. You're just seeming like you're going out and knocking doors. Like we're going to give you 500 till you burn yourself off. And you forget, like, once you start talking to these other guys who have a different deal, like with you, he has a 10-50-50. I'm a 35%. I'm not even there. I'm getting paid $500 if I knock doors. Yeah. And my team needs you. Yeah. So I'm like, well, shit, I'm good with 500. I just got to keep doing this. Mm-hmm. And I had never worked that many days in a row in my life, because there was 4 guys there and they all had a good day with me the first day. And so they wanted me a second day. You know what I'm saying? And so then there was a third and I was busy. And I forgot where I was going this. What was the question? Well, main thing is. Guys forget. Yeah. That your deal's not. Like right now, Mott deserves to be able to say, I'll work for any roofing company I want, and you're going to know about it. And I'm going to structure my deal so well that I'm going to make people mad if they find out what my deal is with you. He can do that now. But, like, there's no way to tell a contractor that's coming in, a door-to-door guy, a sales guy, that in the beginning. You know how to structure your deal. Mm-hmm. And you can't listen to other people who have structured their deal and have a contract. Well, that becomes this, like, internet cesspool where all the salespeople are sharing pay plans in this. And I've recently, and they're talking on Messenger, flirting with each other. Like, yo, bro, I really like all your posts. Yeah, like, hey, tell me, how's it over there at? Well, and then what happens at the death of a salesman is there's some sort of a blow up, and I don't know if it was Apex that originally a lot of the guys went to. But there was sort of a mutiny, and I don't know if it was, you that were leading the mutiny, but it was. I wish I could say it was. Yeah.
The only thing I can say is I trained those guys,
Yeah.
including Andrew Wilkerson from day
Yeah.
one. But Andrew, I recruited. I talked his ass. I fucking begged him to come.
Well, see-
and he finally came, right?
I think
and then he left,
Yeah.
right? And he had done work with Grant before.
But the thing is that
And he cherry picked. He is not a recruiter.
right.
He thinks he is because he thinks he built that team.
Yeah.
What happened is there was a bunch of bullshit going down online that was like very unthought out and very disrespectful and like without having any sort of couth on social media.
Oh, well, I can tell you what happened. I mean, basically, you know, he had sold a lot of jobs during the legal process, and you can't get paid on them if you can't build them. And, you know, the reality is
Right,
he
it's
would have
check for
stuck it
check.
around, and his part was to put him into the system and to do things. And at that time, I didn't have the right job processes, didn't have the core values, didn't have a lot of the systems and processes. And
Had a lot of parking lot hanging out,
yeah, man.
but it was fun.
It was a good time.
It was.
It was-
So what happens is they want their money now. When they come from the meat industry, you're dealing with, you know, the mob who pays you cash daily for everything that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And he had, you know, an artifact that was signed by a customer that you want. He thought he is done.
Yeah.
Contingent, like this is a lock. Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
Now give me my money. And he didn't understand that. And he's a hothead.
Yeah, and he always wanted more.
And you know what? It's good he came in like that. It's not good for you. It's not good for him, you know, in y'all's relationship per se. But it was good. It happened.
No, I'm happy that he got into the business and that I was able to help his family be successful.
Right.
And I don't have any hard feelings against him.
We definitely.
Except for the dude just ran up to me, and I feel like if he catches me, even runs up for me behind, if he runs up on me, he can catch these hands. Now, here's the thing.
I bet now he can, but I bet you're not even going to come at him like, and he's not going to come at you. I don't even think that's real.
Well, here's the point. It was.
I know
real-
your training's real,
It was real
and I know
New
he's
Orleans.
really scared of that.
Well, I know one thing. It was.
But I would be scared to get on a bad day.
It was real when I was the owner of our RCA, and I got shut down by the state of Florida 3 times. And yeah, because here in the state of Florida, you got workman's comp police. These guys check for workman's comp insurance, and basically everybody has to be insured. And what we had is we had leased employees, and a lot of times the people on the job site wouldn't be the same people on the employee roster, and we would get fined because when you use subcontractors in Florida and you don't have the right insurance, you are basically just setting yourself up for these people to come by and extort you for money. And the truth is, after doing business here, I'd been denied for that insurance many times. And doing business in Florida is tougher. The cash flow's slower.
I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard it's bad for you guys.
That's tough.
I would never do it. I would never want to deal with that.
But good news is like throughout all the adversity, that created a little bit of uncertainty. And, of course, it added to the uncertainty when, you left and, all across the internet, all I hear is that, you're helping the state try and shut me down.
Yeah. So
There was a co-op.
So what happened?
How did that happen?
What happened was I was salary with you. I went from 500 to 800 to 1,000, and quite a few months before I left for Christmas, and we got the Rolexes and all that. I'd asked you for a raise. You said we'd talk about it, bring your numbers in, blah blah blah, and like I had a verbal agreement with you that I'm almost certain you remember, but certain you forgot or wanted to forget. We even had that conversation about the 1% because I just hit you on the phone, at the end of a
I
conversation.
remember exactly what the agreement was.
Yeah.
It was 1% of everybody that you led in the field or that you were associated with. And you were like, well, I want 1% of everybody. Mm-hmm. And so I tried to break it down on what salespeople like.
It wasn't tagged in Claims Express.
It's fine.
And look, I had never dealt with an instance like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a spreadsheet
So when it
guy.
came time to settle up, instead of just going into it and sitting down with me.
So what happened was I was forced into an emergency where my new girlfriend, soon to be wife, was like appalled at my baby mama when I went to visit with my son, and because of my life that's outside of the industry started to roll into the industry and become affecting my job and my able to be present and focus and do as good. And I also, once I saw her on Christmas with my son, he was only just turned 2, and she hadn't even put me on the birth certificate yet. And I've been trying. I've been caking her up $500 a week the whole time we were here in Irma. I give her half my paycheck every week. And then, and Brittany can contest to this. And I went there for Christmas, and Brittany was super judgmental, saying, calling my mom, calling my sister. And I probably would have rode with it because I've never been a dad. And at that point, I was more concerned about this. But now I got all the girls in my family telling me, like, you can't leave there, Justin. You have to do something now, and that's not your responsibility. And I felt so big-headed, like I was owed so much money because of my spreadsheet, my mind map that I sent over, all that. And because of my ego and my Facebook, I wouldn't say famous, but starting to get fury behind me, like people started wanting to know more about me. But I was in your shadow, but in my mind I felt like I was just as equal to
everybody is equal,
right?
If you delivered on your maximum potential, your energy in door to door and your energy in creating content, I mean, the thing is like you just have to do the work.
Well, with all those things, those factors I just mentioned, I felt like I was owed the money right then. And I felt like I didn't understand the business and everything that we were still cleaning up and, getting with our, distributors and, getting the crews on board right. I knew about all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I could care less. Like, I had ran a way worse situation back in Georgia when we first started. So, like, you guys were great to us. You know what I'm saying? You're on Grant Cardone. You're closing him in his office. We're fucking literally catching good shit on, camera.
But, like, when you came here, right, you went from...
So I was pissed off that you wouldn't deliver on the money I needed right then for an attorney and
like
an Airbnb.
$50,000, right?
I was asking... I asked for 10 on Christmas. And you told me...
10 plus Rolexes.
So, yes. And the 10... was given before this situation occurred, because when I got there, this is how I got on the birth certificate. The $10,000 that you gave me, I showed her. I gave her $2,000. I said, here. I said, I'm going to give you $8 more grand once we get on the birth certificate.
Oh, so it caused a little bit.
So look, I never gave her the $8,000, and then I needed more money because my Airbnbs, and then I got temporary custody. And I had to stay there with them because you can't fight with them out of state. So, and then they were going to try to let me run back to Florida with them as long as things checked out there, but she went ghost. And I had to stay longer, and I wanted that money, and my dad had, like, basically disowned me at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's giving me everything. I failed him,
But in the meantime, between now and then, you learned how to be $1 million salesman, how to sell, build, collect. You couldn't put 2 pennies together. You met the girl of your dreams. Y'all 2 got married. And
I got pissed off because you didn't want to give me money that really I wasn't deserved yet. And that we haven't even talked about when, how, what's the proper time. You know what I'm saying?
But what kind of personal development and growth did you actually grow?
Exponentially, like
because Brittany did $1 million book of business.
Yes. And she did it under the
with you
energy. Well, it was really like
you and her.
She went out with
you and her
bunch
together.
of people.
It was like y'all were married in that book of business together.
I definitely stabbed some yard signs for her.
It's good.
Yeah.
It worked out.
Oh yeah. Definitely teed her up, hooked her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, so talk to me a little bit about after having $1 million in sales, having success in Florida.
I never had $1 million in sales in a year.
Well, you did with Brittany.
Well, hold on now. I had $1 million in sales, but I would give them away, every single one of them.
Yeah.
Because you and me at the time.
You earned a Rolex.
Look, I did get a Rolex, and it was the coolest thing I'd ever gotten for Christmas in, my adult life. But the rolling from state to state, because I was needed to start up and hand off, I never on the books sold $1 million, but I knew what $1 million looked like and what it took. And then Brittany, really, all I did was tee her up on one door, and it was the HOA president. It was a wrap from there. And she's like her friend and my friend still to this day. We still see her like every week.
Yeah.
We're actually renting a house from her.
It worked out.
It's a great, and you know what though?
She called me and I fixed her up.
That's all it took. One door with Brittany, handed it off, and then I had to help her, show her like, look, you're gonna need to pick up.
Talk about that neighborhood. What happened?
It was in Lely. It was like 4 days after the storm. We saw a gated community, and from our Tom Brady campaign. And you telling me about the Eminem campaign.
Knocking doors in Brookline.
Like, go to the biggest, baddest.
Teaching you.
If there's a gate, get through it.
No soliciting, go soliciting.
No soliciting. Yeah, like, a lot of, like, actual, instead of, like, hardcore, like what me and Davey were talking about, you were, like, a hardcore door-to-door guy. And you were all about making contact and sharpening your skill and retargeting. And those are... some key things I learned from you, and it's 2 a day you can stay. If it's not in the system, it doesn't exist.
You learned how to complete an offer. What's that?
Okay, if you don't have a completed offer, like, you're basically not separating yourself from the other companies because they don't want to give bids. They want to go right off the insurance. But with a completed offer, someone can't tell you no or yes if you never offer them anything.
So let's fast forward this because we got to go through the time and get to the point. So you went to St. Louis, had some big success, even was able to have some good time with family, and then you come back here with a company, River City Roofing, and are having success here in Florida. Now you're going through some tough times. You had 2 DWIs, and now you're 1 day away from going to rehab. Now, tell us a little bit about how you got there and what's going on.
So
why do you keep finding yourself in the same spot?
So I definitely have addict behavior, issues. I like a lot of things, and I don't have good moderation skills. And despite my mother and father's, bringing me up so well, I fucked up. I have no business like being in the trouble I am. I was raised better, but I basically, when you quit one thing, like let's say you're on uppers and you're trying to quit that shit because everyone's saying you got a problem on that. So you quit that, and like you're not going to the drug dealer's house. You're not, social bumping. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not doing it. So you like see the bars. So you start drinking a little more, smoking some weed. That's basically what happened. Is I just traded one thing to alcohol, and alcohol has actually got me in more legal trouble than I ever been in my life.
So
I have more court dates going on right now than one would really know what to do. I have 4 or 5 court dates.
So even though you've been able to like make money in roofing, still even with the court dates,
I've been getting continuances. Mm-hmm. I used to be on salary over at the greatest company in the world right now.
River City?
Yeah, River City. Tim Garrison.
He's the man?
The greatest man. So, yeah, I was on salary there. Mm-hmm. And it was good salary. And even during COVID, he paid me. You know what I'm saying? So I did have a lot of good moments with my son. I was with him for 3 years straight, every other week. And then Brittany wanted to be back in Florida. Wanted me back selling roofs in Florida. She missed Florida. She wants to go back to selling roofs and making that type of money. Because the Midwest...
Yeah.
Did you say $250 a square?
So you brought River City back to the big show. How's it going?
River City was a big show when I
found
them.
No, they're a big show in St. Louis, but I'm talking about this hurricane and this big storm. It's even the big show for me. I forget how big I am.
Right, no.
This is the big show because there's $30 billion in damage.
And what's fun is Tim understands me a lot like you do and a lot of other people that we know.
So do you set appointments for their sales team or what?
I did some of that, but I did a lot of closing, and around the same time he hired me, probably after a month or two, he brought on this dude that built bridges and right there in Peoria, and he was like a big time project manager and like ran cranes, all this. So Tim, because he got so many DUIs, and he couldn't run that, because you got to be able to have a license to do that, because you're traveling with guys and all that. You got to be able to drive. So he came over, and contingent, that he would not drink. Tim even put like a breathalyzer thing in there. And I was like, who's this guy? He started coming on, and he was like, I'm real good friends with Tim. We go way back. And I'm like, all right, this is the inside guy. It was my little operation. I had some door knockers. I had Cannon, Super Dave, Kelly sometimes, Amos.
Oh, okay. Back to the old one.
Yeah.
Oh.
And, but like Cannon crushed it. And then, so Tim was like, I need someone to come in and manage this. 'Cause I don't know about this guy. Even though he's doing it, like, I want, someone I know watching this, because it's starting to grow. You know what I mean? Smart man. So he brings Connor in. Connor's probably the greatest closer I've ever met, and he had never sold a roof in his life.
River City Roofing's got a company built that you're doing all kinds of things. Now, how do you hit rock bottom? How come you're going to rehab? Because they're killing it, and now you got to go hit a different.
So last year I found out that I was diabetic, and it was like insulin dependent. So my diet had to change. That shit pissed me off. I missed my white Red Bulls and like McDonald's. When you're eating on the road, you eat so shitty. Unless you're rich.
No, I don't eat shitty at all.
I know you don't, dude. You've been training.
No, I just don't ever eat shitty.
I saw that. So my diet was terrible when I met you too, if you don't remember. So like I was down about that. I was down about this drama between my baby mama, and she would never want us to see our son, even though it was my legal right, and we had a parenting plan. Like, she would just piss me off. But I had to stay clean, off drugs, period. No weed, no nothing. Yeah, but no weed, no nothing. So I started drinking. Same time I found out I was type 2 diabetic. So, like, I'm having trouble managing my blood sugar because my blood sugar's spiking. Like, but when I tested before the meal, it was right, and then like I wake up and it's like triple digits.
Oh shit, you got that's too much.
Just the alcohol spiking.
You don't want to fucking have. Now you're high maintenance. You got to take care of yourself. Brittany can't follow you around. That's gonna get yourself.
No, dude.
You're gonna get yourself killed.
Yeah, it's serious. So that's just one reason right there. So learning to manage my marriage, my baby mama drama, my son, my ego, my habits, and my fucking company, and where they need me and my success there, I have failed.
So shout out to Kim and Paul Reed. And
yes,
Roofers in Recovery.
There's someone you can go to. That like in one call, they're like, look.
So are you at rock bottom now?
I'm at rock bottom in my. I would what some untruthful people, or just someone lying to hide themselves, would say I'm a functional DUI, and that's how I feel. But it's not functional at all.
Well, no, but I don't know how you stop. They always say you got to stop everything. I don't know.
So
about
like
that.
I'll be like I had like 3 instances where like I like punched someone in the face in the middle of like a red light. Then it was like another dude at a gas station. Then it was like another dude in my neighborhood, and Brittany was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're psycho.
And I'd be yelling at her, and she doesn't deserve to be talked to like that.
Oh God. You need your ass beat?
No, I haven't been training, bro.
I don't care.
I mean, I probably do. No, I'm not. Nah. I definitely don't need my ass beat for. I know I'm wrong, but like the normal Justin wouldn't like yell and scream like that. You just get crazy when you're too drunk. Sometimes I'll comment on things.
You get crazy when you're sober. Yeah, man. Well, I'm here for you too, bro. I mean, here's the deal. I think it's great, and just come out, understand one thing, like. You can come in and come to our gym, work out. I believe fitness was a big deal with me. I mean, I didn't work out as much when I knew you. I'd always like play basketball, do random shit, smoke weed.
I didn't talk shit.
I didn't do no other drugs with you. We didn't do nothing else. I never done any other drugs with you. Never. Only smoke weed, drink beer, take shots. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
never anything else.
No.
Other than Adderall, maybe.
Yeah, maybe an Adderall. But
yeah, like, and I don't even think that.
No, but
because I didn't do them then.
Here's the deal, bro. You know, the devil is whenever we're not busy moving towards our purpose. So if we're busy, me and you, like worms, ADD, if we stay focused on, that's why like you have big energy to attract whatever you want in your life. So that same energy, whenever you put it out there in a negative format, can kill you. It can come out, and obviously you know that.
Right. I definitely swerved and then like tried to overcompensate, and like I truly apologize.
Well, I accept your apology, brother.
And
I wish you the best.
But and I've regretted that decision. The way I handled it, I taught everyone on that was paying attention at that time how to not leave.
Yeah.
That was like your starter kit on how to not leave.
That was the roofing cancel culture 101. Hang a guru, hang a owner.
That was like,
that's what a lot of owners are afraid of.
Flat Earth.
They're afraid of. They're afraid of a salesman going out there, putting it on the internet that they're bad, that they're not a good business owner. And just like Justin said, he knew we helped him a lot. And I mean,
treated me like family too.
Even after all that, did you
treated me like family?
After all that, how?
I mean, we still, your dad's like.
When all that was said and done, did we? There was still all big checks,
squared up, signatures, everything agreed that we were good. It was like 2 years later, and I get why. I mean,
yeah,
dude,
there was a lot of part of the story.
You were probably a lot confused, where I thought like I was entitled to what I was asking for, and I'm in a moment where like,
well, I was at a moment. Here's what I felt. I had been under pressure from the workman's comp police, and I had mutiny from sales team, and I had this pressure that these people were going to like all join forces and get me shut down and get a whole family of people shut down. And then Justin and all of them would be talking shit, and I could block them, but only from one number or one account. And then he would get into every little angle. And of course, my wife, she's thinking, Lee, are you going to jail? This guy says that he's got the state. And it's like, look, people do the darndest things. They don't mean it. And I knew you really didn't.
I dry snitched.
Yeah, you dry snitched.
I was bitter as fuck.
But it's okay, bro, because if you live a good, clean life and you
you won't make decisions like that.
Well, I mean, the reality is I wasn't worried about it because I did.
And I'm not blaming it on my mindset at the time. I was more concerned about how I was going to look if all I've been talking, all the money I've been bringing, all the like selfies, roof selfies, all that, like, and I can't even come get my son. And it was like 2 years after. I had to understand this is Christmas, this is New Year. Okay, the timing. I'm not a real company owner. I don't know. You know, you're taking big hits in December and trying to figure out things like, and I didn't understand the flow, and I never talked to you about it other than one time on the phone, and me and you would like toss it around once I started getting a lot of momentum. And I'm like, well, just get it down on all paper and I'll pay you. And then, but anyway.
Here's the thing. As an independent contractor, you got.
I asked for it and I wanted it then. And when I didn't get it, because of the dragging that was going on in either builds or sales reps were saying that we were getting them on double material when they don't understand you didn't do that material, so you don't even know the accidents you would have made.
But isn't it like you hear it even now this year? I had all these people come in, same story, a lot of independent contractors that work for other roofing companies. When we put out $3 million in commercial jobs in emergency services, there was times where we had to shuffle to get materials built. People had to wait 90 days to get their roofs built. And salesmen usually don't have to wait that long at our RCA. And there was people offering 70%. There was people offering no job cost. And old sales reps that were my top guys sitting here at this table on YouTube, but now stealing 20 guys. But you know what? That was a purge. That's a good thing.
I'll be honest. Like,
that guy was a good problem to have. You were a good problem to have. When you look at all the lessons.
Yes.
When you look at all the lessons, one number thing. I will always be here to help you and guide you in the right way. We got to wrap this YouTube up, but the number one thing is like, you got to pay more attention to your physical and your spiritual, like, service side, like just being out there helping in service. Like when I'm coaching, or even now, dude, I didn't want to do this. It was late. It was the end of the day. I'm glad to talk with you, but you know, the point I'm making is you're at a tough time. I can see that you're in a rough spot, bro. You just need to, you know, honestly, bro, you got everything. And you have your career, your skill set, and you can start over with everything that you have and build it all back. There's even a good storm, and you have a good company. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you need to be hard enough on yourself that you don't tolerate this shit. I mean, right. I feel like I'm going easy on you.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a lack of love on my end, for real.
I mean, because
I appreciate that.
I know a lot of people have cut you off. I mean, Paul Reed, Kim Reed, shout out. He always watches the stuff. We go back and forth. We've had our little tiff, but I think they're great people. And so the Roofers to Recovery people donated to send you. Other roofers are paying for your rehab.
So Tim basically made a nice contribution and said either get him funding or however you want it, and it could be a donation if, you know, we don't, if you can't get them approved. So basically they find a place for you, they get you financed, and they're about to open their very own, you know, the grand opening. I'm sure it's coming soon, but
I don't care how they get it paid for.
So they're making it happen, so
you just need to lock yourself in a room for 30 days. And then hopefully come back and surround yourself around new friends and a new support structure. You can certainly come to my boxing gym. You can certainly, I mean, you don't have to get punched in the face.
Dude, you don't think I can't?
If you're that angry, you should fucking go punch.
I have no ground game, dude.
Well, then you should come to jiu-jitsu.
That's my problem.
That's a lot of fun. You got a lot of energy. I've seen you're a fighter. You don't give up. You should come try jiu-jitsu, and it'll be a great time. I mean, jiu-jitsu is a great mental therapy. It's also it's an adrenaline rush. You don't know what's going to happen, and so you know you go in there, you feel very accomplished because it's good. It's good for people, but the problem is you have to be okay with sucking at it. And you know, you didn't always do the sell, build, collect very well, and you still probably don't. Mm-mm. So you don't mind sucking at that.
Yeah, I suck at that.
But you're not sucking at the door to door. You're good at door to door. You're good at a lot of other things, at marketing and social media, and you make a great asset for a company like River City, especially when you're in good spirits.
I can sign as many as I want. I just can't.
Look, guys, the lesson here from this, if you've watched this whole long personal story, is this is the first time that me and him have met in person in probably, 2.5, 3 years?
Yep.
It's always a full circle with helping people, and you just have to realize there's always going to be sort of like a time where you're going to circle back. And the reality is like you help people and have faith, even if sometimes they stab you in the back, or sometimes they do things that they don't even mean to do or apologize for later on. And the reality is you have to help them and have faith anyways, even though you know it might happen in the future. So a lot of people, they think they can't grow, but then they don't realize that conversations like this happen later on. And I know that I accept your apology. I appreciate you coming here, man.
And I mean, I don't even expect you to accept my apology.
Well, I already did a long time ago, but I hope that you go out here and fucking change your life and do something and actually come and show up to my jiu-jitsu class, man. Levi's actually the coach. He sat here and listened to this whole fucking podcast.
I bet you he's like,
yeah, he is like that. God, but guess what? If you come into the jiu-jitsu gym, we'll actually help you out. And you're staying in Naples, bro. And people that come to the jiu-jitsu gym with me, I mean, bro, honestly, tell your dude to come in here too. Who's the sales guy? Tim from River City Roofing?
Yes, sir.
We'd love to have him be a part of our mastermind. Look, my uncle, you know, he was a big motivator for me, and he died of suicide, but he was a heroin addict that got sober, was sober for 25 years. And the reality is like he always helped drug addicts, alcoholics, and kind of, you know, me, I came into the business and I fell out of college and I went into AA, and that's the first time I learned public speaking, is telling my story in front of a bunch of people. But that 2 years of sobriety helped me learn these skills, and basically it's been a balance ever since. But you ask me, you know, someone that has this addictive personality, how do you do it? Well, if you know that you have a demon, then you better figure out how to fucking beat it with the light. And I just am so about not losing.
Right. I haven't taken that step yet at all. I was literally riding a light. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And, you know, for a while I was riding your light. You know what I mean? I swagger jacked a lot of people's light, and I gotta start being the light instead of riding on it. You know what I mean?
Well,
because all the owners I've worked for, from you, your dad, you know, to Tim, to Paul, to Matt, all of them just such good people.
treated you like family, brought you in. You could have been successful with any of these people, but you know, still you don't have that relationship and consistency and growth
With myself.
Even though you have the skills.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part is a broken record or retrack.
Right.
And
I'm not gonna be 30 forever. Here I am. I'm 40 now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, you know, I wish you the best. And you know what, dude? You're gonna come back here 30 days. What, you're gonna 28 days? You're gonna
I'm coming back strong, like the Phoenix, baby.
They always say, you know,
if you're gonna be dumb, you better be tough.
Yeah. Rehab's for quitters.
Yeah. But no, it's gonna be a minor setback for a major comeback. New push.
All right, new push.
2023, baby.
Okay, guys, subscribe to that one. It's a good one, buddy.